get to do. You know, 40's not really a big deal.
I was able to pull a lot of this off because, number one, I wasn't married, so I had no responsibilities, so I could really test the model on this. So, you know, when you're married and you go into this marriage, you have to explain to your wife all your cockamamie plans. You know, hey, honey, I want to squat 1,000 pounds. Yeah, you're 35 years old. I know, but I still want to try it. So I'm going to start training, and in 4 or 5 years, I'll squat 1,000 pounds. No, that doesn't ever go with the wifey, because you gotta have a special situation. Unless you meet her and you're already doing that, you know, pulling that stunt on your wife is not a good idea.
Well, and either they're totally scared you're going to do what, you're insane, or they find out that you're going to be at the gym 7 hours a day, 4 days a week, and they're like, why are you home with me?
Yeah, my poor family, they're like, every time I did a meet, and I won or bombed out, either one, because I bombed out more than I won. So they'd say, the first thing they'd say, oh, good, now you can quit. That was my family's answer to everything. Oh, good, now you can quit. I'm like, no, I don't get it. You know, I didn't like that. You know, now I can quit what? I didn't even accomplish anything. So
well, they don't get the emotional content of what's going on.
They know I'm out there. They already know I'm a loser. But they at some point want to see me. My mom's ideal life for me is to have a full-time job that has benefits. You know, and that's the answer to life. And I could never see that. I never said that.
I'm the same way, man. I can't make myself fit in a mold at this point.
God forbid something goes wrong with me, I'm just going to die because I'll never go to the doctor. You know?
Well, but the thing about that is nobody I know who does exceptional things doesn't go through exceptional sacrifices like not having a regular job and suffering and injury and alienation and living in the gym and people thinking you're an absolute man. My neighbors used to think I was the biggest nutcase alive. Because, in fact, I'll tell you, this is funny. When I met my wife, you heard the story. I met my wife. She owned the gym, which is like perfect fit. She was a lifter. The other lifters I lifted with were guys I knew who I'd wrapped their knees, spotted, hung out with, and knew me from a kid when I'd never done anything crazy, never been arrested, never hurt anybody, nothing like that. I told her I was too dangerous. These were my friends because I outweighed them all by 50 pounds. I squatted them all by 250 pounds, and I'm scary when I did it because at that time, when I've kind of, I've become a mellow crazy now, but at that time I was charged crazy. So when I attacked the bar, I looked like I was going to try to kill somebody. I
see that intensity in you. I see that in you. That it's just, it's kind of like normal to me when I see you get revved up to do something. It's like get out of his way.
Everybody's.
And that's how that's natural to me.
Right.
A lot of people don't find it. Everybody's like, oh, so I'll get labeled. You're the strongest man in the world. No, I'm not the strongest man in the world. Never even close. But with geared powerlifting, we're I call it pro powerlifting basically because you're in gear. You have the best gear made to mankind, and that's not good enough. You have to have it tweaked too.
That's right.
Because what I got from the manufacturer was, I'm sorry, but it was kind of crappy. It didn't fit right. So I had to have a person redesign the whole thing, and I just followed physics where the tension lines are, and that's where I put the seams, and I just I did everything I could to get the best use out of gear, like any driver in NASCAR would, like any football player would wear. I had a buddy who was playing football, and I said, "Hey, you want my 1989 Arena football helmet to practice in?" He's like, "Hell no! Why not? It's only 23 years old." Well. Because it's 23 years old.
Right.
It's 23 years old technology. Today's helmets are much better, so they say. They're lighter anyway. But my point is if you're gonna do geared powerlifting, get the best stuff you can and train hard. And the big problem is it's like everybody says, oh, there has to be that. It is what it is. It's geared powerlifting. There's no such thing as an Olympic squat. There's not one contest on earth that is an Olympic squat. All right. The Olympic lifters get low because they have to get the shortest distance from A to B. So they have to squat low to the front to get under that weight. So they're not going to pull 586 pounds up to their face. At a power clean position. They've got to go. They'll move the bar deadlifts waist height when they get low. Right. So unfortunately, people misread that. Oh, we squat like the Olympic squats, and then you don't have any career. When you start to get strong and heavy, everything starts to snap. So gear saves your career, You can train raw. You know, I train raw majority of the time, but the gear saves your and if you're like me, if you want to be in this for the long haul, you're going to dabble in all that stuff. You're going to try gear. You're going to do it raw. You know, you're going to try different aids like the slingshot, for instance. You know, that's a great thing, a great little thing to have. You know, or a pair of briefs to squat in. You know, different stuff, different strokes. And
yeah, I actually think
remember in the '80s when people used to put on the tightest T-shirt they had to bench. But it's because
I had a football coach who had a 3 sizes too small pair of jeans.
Yeah.
He would put on to squat in.
They were finding best ways to compress their body to perform better. You know, and they didn't even realize they were doing that. Right. So mankind is always going to push the limits. Whether if you lift raw or lift with gear, you're going to push the limits. If you choose to be drug free, you're going to push the limits drug free. If you choose to do drugs, you're going to push the limits through drugs. You know, whatever it is you choose to do, you push the envelope. The problem we have is comparing everything. It's getting back to a religious society. Right. You know, no, you know, you're going to hell if you wear squat shoes. You walked out of the devil's squat rack. You got to walk the way down. You can't use a model. Well, you know, like I said, I played football all those years, and arena's artificial turf. I don't want to walk way down, especially in my 40s. I want to get in a model lift. Right. Damn right I want a model lift. And I'm not apologizing for it. I'm not going, but, because, you know, I don't call anybody out. They call me out. Right. I've never called anybody out. When I hear someone breaks a record, I'm like, oh, good for them. I don't rush to see the film. I don't need to see it. They passed it. What's me rushing to the film going to do? So I just do my own thing, and I don't really care what anybody else does.
Well, you know what I found, and this is one thing I truly appreciate about you, is because you don't have, you've met me long enough now to know that I don't have that attitude. Yeah. I do things a totally different way. I don't care. You do them a different way, and I'm not threatened.
That's the key.
And I think that truly, it's funny. The journeyman level is a lot of times where that internet, you know, talks about or whatever. Every truly honest to God top level champion I've ever met has a ton of respect for people who do things totally opposite ways. And they kind of, you know, it's not that big a world. We all kind of know each other.
It's like Brian Cyrus. He was the #1 in the USAPL. And I was the #1 in WPO back when it was around. I was geared. They were like single ply stuff. Him and I beat at a raw meet, right? We basically got the same numbers. Right. He beat me that meet by 20 pounds. Right. All right. They took a squat away from me. That was 870.
870. I remember seeing
They took it away. So I would have had a 2240 total. Brian pulled 810 to win. And I totaled 2070. He got like 2170. He totaled like 2190. However, he went and pulled a 4th and 10th on the deadlift and got 840 on there, raw. Okay. And so just so nobody would say Thompson would have beat you, he was. I admired that about him because he would have totaled 2240 also, right? The same as I would have. So we were neck and neck. You know, he's better at me than the bench. You know, he's at the time he's a little better puller because he was a little leaner to get to the bar. I was a better squatter. Right. So he had his advantages. I had mine. But when it was said at the end of the day, that day he won by 20 pounds. Right. But basically 20 pounds is nothing. We were neck and neck. Yeah.
Well, that's something I was going to say is that I noticed this that when you look at the raw lifts of most of your geared lifters, or if you take a raw lifter and give them a little while to get used to the gear, the best guys are still the best guys. It doesn't matter. Scott, my friend, is about the same situation. 22 something raw. Now he's been out of gear for a long time, but you probably have seen the crash he had with the 1200 that everybody in the world's seen, where I think where he squats down, pops off his back, shoots up the rack. You've probably seen that. I was there. That was my bar. They were doing that day, and so it's all the same. It's all different, and I think that's a big reason we can respect each other, because we can translate and you can see the differences. And I'm cross-sectionally